Hello! This is a quiet review tonight because it's fairly late at night. But what I've got is another one of the Sabrent items that they sent me in the post. This was delivered free for me to review. This is the Sabrent USB 3 multi-card reader. It says it takes SD, SDHC, SDXC, MS, CF cards. A little bit annoying. It's on about Linux, Mac, and all sorts of different compatibility. It's a USB device. It's going to be compatible with everything. U means universal. Yeah, it does annoy me when people do that. It's a little bit scaremongery, but we'll not let that detract from the quality of the item. The test that I'm going to do is that I've got an SD card here, and we're going to burn an image from it if we can. Well, we can at least access it. I'm going to boot a virtual machine as well. In fact, I'll get the virtual machine booting up now. I'm using VMware as my virtual machine host, and so the host is Windows 7. The VM is going to be Linux to test this with if my machine ever wakes up. So let's just get unboxing this. It's a nice box. It's okay. It's meant to be hung in a shop, so it's fair enough. But we've got a QR code, but unfortunately the QR code is covered, so you can't scan it. This is the model CR-BMC3. VMware was checking for updates, so I'll put that there. That's VMware booting up, and that's booting Ubuntu, as you can probably tell. So we're going to just cut this here, as ever, folks. Take care with knives, especially when the blade snaps and falls out. I'll sort that out in a minute. But I've slipped the top and I'm opening it up. We've got plastic inside. It's quite a nice cardboard box. Okay. Trying to catch everything. That's interesting. That's a very interesting USB 3 connection. It's not a standard connection. It seems to be, I'll be honest, this is something I've never seen before for USB 3. It's not. Okay, there's a standard USB 3 end. Notice the blue plastic. This is something else, and that means this is proprietary. This lead is only going to work on this device. There may be a reason for that, but since I've got a dozen leads on my desk, including a USB 3 hub, having to have another cable is a little bit annoying. But anyway, let's carry on. On the bottom, there's a rubber bottom. Doesn't really give it any support. Just see if it's sticky. See if it's a peel back sticky thing. I'm just trying to get this off. Can you see? See if I can do it with my tweezers. Nope. See if we can do it with a pair of scissors. I'm not even sure this is meant to come off, but if it is, it's a nice touch but annoying. This is so annoying. Can I grab it with these tweezers? Let's see. Yes. Okay. No, it's not sticky. It's just a plastic cover and a lovely rubber bottom. So that's a rubber foot. Now it don't slide anywhere. At least it doesn't when you're pressing from above. If I just put it down, you can of course drag it around by the cable, which is unfortunate. But that was stuck to the bottom to it, so that wasn't obvious. Certainly not from the outside. What we got? So we've got the TF micro SD. So TF is Chinese standard or Japanese standard. I think somewhere in the Far East it was called TF when it first came out, so they never changed to micro SD. SD, SDHC, and all the rest on the other side, and then we've got CF along the bottom. Build quality wise, it doesn't look bad. there's a single PSB and the units up and above. It's clipped, the top is clamped onto the bottom, and as for the top itself, well, we've got another slot on the rear. So we've got the USB and a slot on the rear, 3 slots on the front. The rear slot is MS Duo, MS Pro. So very good too. It's okay. It's quite compact. Size wise, we've got 66mm in one direction. It's 70mm high at its shortest. It's 20mm higher than bulge, which I'll talk about in a moment, and its depth is 43mm. But the cable's quite chunky as well. I mean, the cable's 16mm wide, and the cable hasn't lost its kink. It doesn't feel fantastic as a cable. It's SS, powered SS, so I need to plug this into this port just here. Obviously it does nothing at first, so if we just look at the top, can you see the bulge? This is the Sabrent logo in blue, and this bulge is kind of like their diamondy logo. Can you make that out? Kind of if I reflect stuff off it. Okay, let's just log into. If I log into that, you'll not know what I'm doing. Log into Ubuntu. So yeah, that works fine. Let's now plug in a card, see what it sees. So this is an SDHC 4GB. I'm putting that in there. Ooh, I don't like that. Doesn't feel very positive at all. Only goes in one way up. Really doesn't want to go in there. There's nothing obviously blocking that, so I'm just going to push. It does not want to take that card in. Not at all. And I don't have another one on me. This was my only card to test with, which is kind of problematic. Let's see if it detected anything. No. So the system has detected nothing in Windows. As you can see, there's no. This is my SSD, these are all my drives, there's nothing there. It's not making contact at all. Just going to have a look down there with a light. Yeah, everything looks clear, everything looks fine. Okay, let's play with the wire. Let's try this USB hub. Ah! That's interesting, guys. You can see Windows detected it this time. It's in fact popped up telling me it's installing the device now. So we've got all these devices ready to use, and we've got a light on. This was a light. Okay, that cable definitely said SS, USB SS. Can you make it out? It's embossed on the cable. See it just there? I've plugged this into just a standard USB 3 hub, a cheap Chinese 4-port hub, and it works. Plugging it into my Amazon Basics, which is perfectly functional, doesn't seem to want to work. This is problematic. But anyway, let's try that now. Yeah, we've got the device straight away. Literally, it popped up with seconds. So there is the content of my drive. That is really quite snappy. I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to be that snappy. So let's just have a look for a large file on there. None of the large files. This is actually a Raspberry Pi. This. Let's do all of these files. So 20 meg. And I'm going to create a folder. GGG. This is probably going to be in the wrong spot for you guys to see it. yeah, it did that in seconds. It was like done. So that's fine. That's good. Let's see if I can make an image. Not from that one, I can't. Let's do the Linux test. So remove all drive. Okay, so what have we got? We've got my Logitech USB camera, and this is showing up as a Genesis, so GENESYS Logic USB storage. It's clearly the chip on there because this is meant to be Sabrent branded, so Sabrent is just branding over the top. So connect, yes, that's it disconnecting from the host and reconnecting to the actual Linux box. And there is the file, there are the files there. So we can see 1.3 gigabytes of data. Let's copy all of that to here. So 1.3 gig. So this is preparing to copy however many files. The actual light is flashing as it's doing this. You see? I didn't notice that on Windows. It's taking its time to discover everything. So it's copying about 740 megabytes on Linux. This is Ubuntu, 64-bit Ubuntu 1604. So 5.7 megabits a second. I'd expect that to be quicker on a USB 3 hub. I don't think that's my machine because I've got other devices that work fine. So I was using Data Traveler, Kingston Data Traveler 15 gigabyte sticks earlier. They were flying. They were a little bit quicker than this. It's a class 4 card. Not sure if that is going to slow it down. I'll have to check. In fact, while that's copying, I will check the maximum speed, max speed of class 4 SDHC. 4 megabits a second. So it is actually technically pulling off the class 4 faster than a class 4 could. I don't have a class 10. So if we just have a look at this quick table, we're limited bottleneck by my card. So that's fine. I accept that. I'm going to give this a fairly decent review. I like the foot. I like the build. I like the look. It is unfortunately, it's kind of like a glossy plastic, and it's already got fingerprints all over it. I'm not going to give it a perfect score because I don't like the custom cable. I don't like the fact that you've got 4 slots on the front and 1 on the back. So if I came to mount this on my desk with hot glue, like I do with most all of my devices, I'm going to be, not able to use the MS Duo or MS Pro port. Not a huge problem for me, but a problem nonetheless. So that's still copying over there, and this is still flashing as it's actively doing that. It's an okay item. This is. I have no idea how much this actually costs to retail. If you're going to pay more than $9.99, I would query the purchase. It feels decent, it doesn't flex, it's quite nicely built, it's quite a solid case. I like the LED, it's just slightly design flawed. Don't like the custom cable, don't like the slot being on the back when all the rest are on the front. So Sabrent is a USA company made in China. So that's Linux and Windows tested, working fine. It's a class 4 card again, just so it's the card doing it. It's actually a Kingston card, so it's a decent card. Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid, if I could give it half marks on Amazon, I'd say it's a 4.5 easily. I can't, and because of my 2 problems with it, I'm only going to give it a 4. And that's finished copying. It's the end of my review for now. Bye bye.